This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk a little bit more about Natty for a minute, because I've never really understood. I mean, I just think about her career and think about how important she's been to the women's division. And this is her only Divas title win. And she wouldn't win another belt with the company until, I think August of 2017 is when she became the SmackDown Women's Champ. So you're saying nearly 7 years later before she wins another. Does he not like her work? Does he not like her look? Does he not like her gimmick? Does he not like her heritage, being a Hart? I mean, it feels like she checks every box you would want. I mean, based on what we see from the outside, model employee, has a good look, gear looks great, work is some of the best in the entire company, probably the most consistent for years and years and years. I mean, this is an era where there were a lot of, quote unquote models who learned to wrestle. Natty was a wrestler. And so when the women's division became about the evolution and no, we wrestle now, I'm looking at Natty like she wrestled the whole time. What was it about her presentation, or what did she not have that Vince thought, we got to go with her? It almost feels like a consolation prize for her to only have 2 title runs.
You want to run down that list of employee isms that she had? Look good, always on time, never gave you any trouble, dependable, all those positives. I know exactly why she didn't get a push, don't you? Isn't it obvious?
No.
She had all those attributes. She was easy to do business with, all those things. You've heard the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
So she needs to be a shit disturber.
Yeah, that's probably what she was missing. She should have had an issue with everything that came out of creative if you really wanted to get a push. She was so easy to do business with. She worked so hard to give you what you wanted. She was always on time. She was always there. Her gear looked good. You name it. And at that particular point in time, her work really stood out because the ladies hadn't flamed up yet.
Right.
We were still on that teeter-tottering. It was fixing to go to another level, but it hadn't quite flamed up. She had already flamed up. Her work was immaculate from day one.
So hypothetically, if she developed a substance problem or got in a fight backstage or no-showed some events or slapped Vince McMahon or cussed out a producer, maybe she'd have got a bigger push, but because she did none of that, she's just there.
Well, she couldn't have done any worse.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't get it. Like, it feels like to me, we should be talking about Natty Neidhart as being like, I don't know. It's weird too, to see that when the women's wrestling in WWE got serious, it's almost like she got leapfrogged. Nope. Now it's about Charlotte and it's about Becky and it's about Bayley and it's about Sasha. And don't get me wrong, those are all really fantastic performers, but I don't know that they gave Natty a fair shake to really, I don't know, her time in the sun. She's almost like, in a weird way, she's like the female version of Kofi Kingston. Dude did everything he wanted, blah, blah, blah. And okay, we gave him his little run and now, all right, keep doing what you were doing before. It's just weird to me.
Well, before you get too upset, and I could tell your ass is a little chapped right now, Natty has been there for a long time and made a lot of money without having to be the number one female. And there's something to be said, trust me, I know, that if you're in that upper middle and you're a top performer, but you're not always booked on top, but you can be there for a long time and always in a good spot and always on the live events and always on your pay-per-views, you can have a huge career that just kind of floats underneath the wire. You're there and they know you're there, but you're not constantly in the spotlight where you're having to get that number or you're having to get that quarter hour, or you're having to draw that house. You're the one they looked at, well, who was on top? There's also something to be said for floating along in that spot and just being there 20 years. At the end of 20 years, you got a pretty hefty bank account.
Listen, I'm not arguing that at all. I totally get what you're saying, that at the end of the day, this is a business and having consistent, reliable income and, being able to enjoy your work and not have a ton of stress or pressure, your quality of life could be great. I get that. But I also kind of think, and maybe I'm wrong, but listen, I never did it. You did. Chat me up here. Doesn't everybody, when they get into this business, sort of think about, oh, I'm going to headline WrestleMania, or I want to be the top dog? I mean, as a little kid, at least when you're first starting, you have these big aspirations, and somewhere along the way, I'm sure eventually for everybody in every industry, it becomes more of a job and less of a childhood fantasy. But it does make me wonder, like, do you think part of her wishes maybe she would have, hey, you know what, maybe I need to go away and come back? Because we've seen sometimes when you do, get out of the race car, and Jericho was famous for this. He would come in, do his thing, have fun, and then go away for a while and come back. It kept him fresh and it kept him in the mix. Do you think if she would have done that and done something with Impact, or done something in Japan, or done something with AEW, that she could get that big spot when she came back, or maybe not so much?
Maybe, but I don't think the opportunities for women were the same as for men.
Right.
I think someone like Jericho would have more options than Natty would have. And, there's something about being comfortable, and there's something, she got the Diva show and all these extras that go, there's a lot of trappings that surround not just being the champion. And your question was, when you get in this business, yeah, if you get in this industry and you don't aspire to be the top guy and you don't want to be the champion, then something's the matter with you. Nobody comes in this business, or should come in this business, and go, yeah, I just want to be that guy that's first after intermission. That's my aspirations. That's where I want to be. Then you're in the wrong business. But there also comes a time that you're going to realize, for most of us, that you are going to be that guy that's first or second after intermission, because you're either not marketable enough, your body doesn't look good enough, your talking is not good enough, or your work is not good enough, or you just don't have that star quality that could stand alone in the main event of an event, no matter whether it's a pay-per-view or live event or regular TV or whatever it is. Once you figure out that golden circle is a very small one, and you realize there's a lot of slots on the card other than that one, then you're a lot better off. And you can be a big star without having to be the world champion. You go and, a lot of times, it pops up on the internet, who is the greatest wrestler that was never the world champion? And that's a pretty prominent list. It's a lot more prominent than you would think. Go look at it sometime. And it just tells you that if you get over, the championship being put on you is not going to make you get over even more. You put your most over guy, that's who you put the title on, not the other way around. The title doesn't make the man makes the title. Same thing applies to the ladies. And I think Natty is, she's one of our favorites. She's worked her ass off. She's always given you everything you've ever asked. And as an entertainer, she's given you, as a consumer, everything that you wanted to see. And she's still there. So that's all that should matter.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.